Yeah, we working. Hold on. EV keep me working.
Playa T, that's me, Hollywood in the hood. Doing it really, really big. We have the future candidate for State House Representative for District 10 right here, Billy Sharp. What's up, Billy? How you doing, man? Billy, you look sharp as your name, man. Sharp as your name. And guess what? Billy is sharp in the community, too. Very sharp in the community, man. Yo, he's going down there in the trenches where y'all hiding from, you know. He's going down there. He's dealing with the lowest of the low. He's dealing with them, baby. He's dealing with them. Got some really great programs. Right. Got some really great programs, and we're glad he's on board tonight. Now, let's talk about a couple of those programs. Coffee with a Cop. Now, we brought that up during the onset of the show, and I was making a little light of it, but that's very important because we have to have dialogue in the community with people that police the community, because if not, then they're going to be insensitive to the people that live in that community, right? Right, so you got to have dialogue and communication, so we commend you for spearheading those efforts for making that happen.
Actually, I didn't spearhead it.
Okay.
It actually started with Kevin Conwell.
Oh,
And I always give credit where credit is due.
Where the hat fit, baby.
So I'm working with, obviously first I'm working with Yvonne Conwell, so I began to start working with Kevin Conwell, and he had this event that he was doing at the McDonald's on 105 in St. Clair, and it was Coffee with a Cop. So I knew, was getting to know the owners at the time. So this was last year, 2016, and they were doing a series at the 3 stores that they had. They got 105 in St. Clair, 55th in Superior, and Eddy Road in East Cleveland. So they were going to do Coffee with a Cop off the original one that Kevin Conwell started and do it at all 3. So I was sort of the MC or whatever it was, and we went around, and the conversation, that first one we did at 105 turned out to be great. And the reason it was great is because it was a different environment, and people from the community didn't expect at a McDonald's to sit down and have coffee and talk to law enforcement. So it was a great conversation. I'd say one of the best ones that we had. Councilman Kevin Conwell went out in the community and pushed that event. We packed that thing out, and it was great. So in this year, 2017, they're coming to actually the end of that series. I think, was it Tuesday or Wednesday was National Coffee with a Cop Day. And they actually, at this McDonald's, they did them at 2 different locations at the same time. So it's been a great venture, and I would tell anybody, get to know our law enforcement. They are somebody's family. They are somebody's friend. They are not the enemy. I got friends that are on the police force. I got a young lady that goes to my church that just graduated from this last class. My heart goes out to them because they defend us every day. That's not to say that we haven't had issues. And when we have those issues, I speak out. 137 shots. I was on the steps of City Hall.
I was going to ask you because obviously the police, they feel this because they're a part of it, right? So they feel it. So I was going to ask, at the first one on 105, it must not have been a bunch of people saying, hey, but what about the 137 shots? Because, you know, if you police probably get tired of hearing that. Yeah, it was 37, you know. But, I mean, was it like that?
The subject came up. But officers, at least the ones that were there, were very professional. They dealt with the question. I think they knew that those questions would be coming, so they dealt with them. But what I would say about 137 shots, when that event happened, I was on the steps of City Hall with us, everyday people. And I called out our elected officials that at the time had not said one word about the event that happened. I just thought it was an outrage, and I can understand you want to sort of hold your power, and see how things go within the court system. But I thought that was a time that we should be standing with our people, because I just thought that was just so egregious and
Exactly.
did not need to happen.
Yeah.
So we need to, when those things happen, we need to be speaking up on those things.
Right. Yeah. So you said the cops are real professional about it. You know, they didn't gloss over it. Were you impressed with their answers?
Yeah, I was impressed with the answers. I was impressed with most of the officers that was at that event grew up in that neighborhood. So they had relationships with people who they were talking to. I think most of our problem is within the police department, and Mayor Jackson will speak to this too, is that we have to have a police force that reflects us. You cannot police. You cannot police a group of people that you disdain. So if I grew up in Strongsville, I don't know what the life is in Glenville. Right. So I bring Strongsville perspective to a Glenville perspective, which I can't do.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So I shouldn't do it. So in the process that they have now, and Mayor Jackson, I believe, explained this when he was here last Friday, that they can go deeper into a pool of candidates. So now our police force can begin to reflect us. And this is active work that the mayor does to make us a better community. And I get irritated when I hear, oh, well, Frank Jackson ain't doing nothing. Well, you got to pay attention.
Right.
First of all, you got to pay attention. And just because an elected official doesn't come and give you $100 in your pocket doesn't mean they're not doing anything. It is, what are you prepared for? What are you prepared for when they create opportunities, when they have domestic violence abuse, something that I know Councilwoman Conwell has every year around October? Do you attend those things? You can't say the Councilwoman's not doing anything if you're not out there trying to find the information. And far too often, we sit home and say, oh, well, Mayor Jackson ain't doing that, and the Councilwoman ain't doing that, but we don't go out and try to seek the information.
Oh, that's real talk.
And so when you talked about earlier about that I have these programs out here. I have these programs out here so people can get information. And now let me give a shout out to Young Black Democrats in the House, who is one of the hardest working young groups in the community. But if I walk down the street and ask somebody, have you heard of Young Black Democrats? They'll say no. That's because we're not seeking information out. And I tell you, they work hard, but you can't be on every street corner. You can't be here. You can't be there. So they do the best that they can do, and so do our good elected officials.
Right.
And so do good public servants. Now, do we have bad ones out there? We do. And those are the ones I try to work to get out. Those are the ones I try to work to get out. So I find good friends, and I want to thank Yvonne Conwell, County Councilwoman Yvonne Conwell. See, I see her as my auntie. So I say Yvonne, and then sometimes it's disrespect. But since we met here on this show 4 years ago. 4 years ago.
Oh.
And in that 4 years, Yvonne, County Councilwoman, has grabbed me by the arm and took me everywhere. We on committees together. We just do everything together. I think it's the great thing. She is a mentor. You talk about taking young people under your wing. She will do her best to try to take you under her wing and show you the right way. She saw, I guess, politics in me, and she, oh my God, she just came along for the ride. I had a book signing. She came to that. She bought the book. It's
what's the name of your book?
It's called Billy, a True Life Story.
And I read it.
And she read it. And she's in the documentary. She's in the
Billy,
documentary.
a True Life Story. Hold on, Yvonne, what did you think about the book?
Oh, it's a documentary on his life. Huh? It's a documentary on his life. You know I hate mics. and I loved it. I loved it. It's his perspective on his life, but it opened it up from a reader's perspective. It really gets you intimately on Billy Sharp and why he is the person that he is today.
Well, now, hold on, Billy. We're going to dive more into your book,
Okay.
but I want to talk a little bit more about your programs.
Okay.
Not just with Coffee with a Cop, you feed the hungry.
Yes.
Tell
yes.
us, what's the name of that program?
That is through my nonprofit called Mastering Generosity Unlimited. We have
It's called what?
Mastering Generosity Unlimited.
I ain't hear you.
Mastering Generosity.
Mastering
Generosity Unlimited.
Okay.
So remember the last time I was here, it was We Care Outreach Ministry.
Right. We Care
So
Outreach.
the leader that went on to do some greater things, so then I took it over and we changed the name, repackaged it. So it's Mastering Generosity Unlimited, and we have some of the same programs. We team with the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. We provide 2,000 meals or more at every food bank that we do. We found that people have a problem having ends meet towards the end of the month, so we do ours every third Tuesday of the month, so people can come we try to do a fix for that. So we've grown from just that one food bank that we do a produce drop. So that's 2 events that we haven't done. Now we do a third one. We're working with Cleveland Early College. And we go to the school. The kids come out and volunteer to hand out the food. It's
Fruits and vegetables.
fresh fruits and vegetables, things
What
that
you
we
know
normally
about
don't even
that?
get in you certainly don't get them in corner stores, and they're food deserts in certain areas, so you don't even have a working grocery store where you get fresh produce. So we try to provide that. So we're doing anywhere from 6,000 to 7,000 meals that we provide a month over the city of Cleveland.
Now that's wonderful. Now that's wonderful. Now you got another program too, don't you?
Well, I got several things, but I can speak to. We have coming up on October the 21st at Mount Gilead Missionary Baptist Church. We'll have the Urban League Greater Cleveland Guild Meet the Candidates Forum. So every person who's running in the county, will be there, present their army. Here's another program for people who don't know what's going on. I'm telling you, come to this. You'll see the mayor there, his opponent, every city council person that's running has an opponent, every judge, and the 2 issues that are on the ballot. We're going to get all the information to that, so we want you to come out, but I'll talk about that later.
Now, Billy, before we went to the break, Billy got a new book, Billy, A True Life Story. Now, where is this book at?
It is. It'll be available on my new website, Billy Sharp Omnimedia, coming up in November, right in time for Christmas. But what I want to do is sign this for you, because I want to give it to the hardest working man in this business. You think I don't know this? You think I don't know this? I run up on Playa T in the parking lot. He out there hustling. He be out there hustling. You talking about the hard? I thought I worked hard. So let me sign this for you, and this will be your copy.
Now,
PhD to
Billy, where can they
PhD.
get your book at? You said it ain't came out, but it's going to be on your website?
Right. So this is what happened. I started this company called Billy Sharp Omnimedia, and we had got this deal with Barnes & Noble and Google, and so I wasn't seeing the profit. So I went on Amazon, and I saw copies of the book, but I wasn't getting the money, so I snatched it off there because I own it. And so I'm coming out with my own website. So the only way you're gonna get the book is through me. Okay. So I was never supposed to write a book. So this book only appears in hardcover. It doesn't appear on ebook and none of that stuff because I was never supposed to write one. So it only appeared this way. You get it. It's $30. So the website should be out in November, just in time for Christmas. It's a good read. What it shows you is I have a learning disability called dyslexia, and it reads just like that. So you get to see when you read it, it reads like how I see it.
Okay.
It's because all right. So if you never knew I had it and I had went through and made all the changes, you would never know that. So that's why I kept it in. And my co-writer is out there, Antoinette Willis. She co-wrote with me. And just so I can really quickly talk about mentoring people, I got Caddy out there. I got the Action Squad that work with me on the Frank Jackson team. These are young people that are doing great things. They are awesome. I want to thank them all for coming. Gabriella, President of Young Black Democrats, thank you all so much. I just, when you talk about how Yvonne did me and brought me along, Caddy came to me at a parade, and he marched in the parade that was like a year ago to today, and I got this opportunity to get him a job on the Frank Jackson squad, and I brought him on. He's been there ever since. He's amazing. And I really want to thank him.
So is that what we got to do? We got to pull the youth under our coattails.
Yes.
Yes.
But
you see
when
them
we
straddling the fence, pull them in.
But I was just getting ready to say that when we say that, though, actually do it. Like Yvonne can talk about mentoring because she actually does it. I can talk about it because I actually do it. Let's not just let it be a word. Let's mentor our youth. Let's actually do it. Like how I see young people come on this show and how you mentor them. That's the same thing. You actually do it. You're not just talking about it. Right. And as leaders, we have to be less talk and more action.
Right.
We got to be less talk and more action.
Well, hold on. One last thing with you, Billy. You have aspirations for running for State House of Representative for your District 10. You know, why did that come about?
That came about because the programs that I took part in as a kid, summer lunch program, Toys for Tots, I then later went on to put them on, I provide them. Now what I want to do is move on to saving those programs, being the state's legislator and making sure there's funding out there for the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, those type of things. So it's going to be a 360, but now I want to preserve those programs and make sure they're around for kids like me who needed them growing up.
Hey, I understand that dynamic. He didn't wait till he got in office to try to do these things. He's doing it now. So I think we can lend our helping hand to Billy Sharp when he goes to run for District 10 State House Representative. So if somebody want to donate to the campaign, how can they reach out to you?
So you can go to, I just became a .com.
Okay.
You can go to BillySharp2018.com, and there's a donate button, and you can donate.
Donate button, baby.
Donate what you want to donate.